success. And I want to ask you, when you're talking to leaders, what do you think they need in order to be more successful as a leader and as a person who's working as a leader?
It's a good question, and it's one that, again, there's multiple layers to it, right? Success isn't one uniform thing for anybody. Anybody who tells you that is lying. Success needs to be kind of defined for yourself based on a variety of different parameters. I think the colloquial phrase is work-life balance. But again, some of the things that I try to do, at least with the executives that I work with, is break this down kind of into 10 elements. I'll share some of them, and they're not surprising. But it's really, really important that success isn't just a parameter of your ability to execute at work. Yes, that's how people get promotions. That's how people potentially step into other leadership positions or go to other companies or potentially start other companies. But the truth is, success, at least a good way to live and a good way to feel fulfilled on a consistent basis, right? Not having those momentary euphorias that we talked about earlier, but to consistently experience success is to figure out, how do you balance not only your work, your personal relationships, your finance, your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health, really taking the time and spending the time to define all of those things for you, right? And again, there's exercises that I go through with folks that I work with, but for me, when we are in alignment, when we can truly align our day with the things that matter to us, and then break it down in a way where we can allocate a certain amount of hours per day and actually spend time on it, we will inevitably feel successful, right? Success is a feeling. It's not always about, yes, I hit my sales goals, or yes, I delivered X amount of product features over a certain amount of time. Those are great, but that's a quick dopamine hit, right? That's not something that's going to sustain you or fulfill you long term. So we conflate, or society has imposed on us, this meaning of success, which is quick wins, rewards, accolades, people posting wins on Facebook and then getting 1,000 likes on it. That's not success. That's a temporary dopamine hit. We've all been kind of conditioned by social media over the last 10, 15 years to think that way. And it's okay. That's going to exist in our society. We can't get rid of it. That's not our job. Our job is to be present, to be awake, and to actually understand how to do this ourselves.
Yeah. What we're talking about, it seems like when we talk about business, it's so easy to talk about the numbers because like it's tangible. We're talking about the numbers.
Yep.
And in life it's the same. I can tell you exactly what's the size of my car and what the model is, but I cannot tell you something which is internal, like a feeling, like I'm so happy, I'm less happy, I'm miserable. Like it's something that we cannot really measure. And therefore I think that it's much easier for people to just think about the car model or the title or the salary. And it seems that in the last few years, or maybe 5, 10 years, leadership is going through this phase of not only talking about the business, about the execution, about the numbers, but talking about things like empathy or growing as a person, not growing the business only, right? So do you see the connection between a growing as a person in my personal growth and the growth of the company?
Absolutely. I think if you look at any, again, I was harking on FANG companies, but what FANG companies do well, and a lot of other companies that are, let's say, in the Fortune 100, even 500, is they do invest in their employees, right? They value personal development. There's a reason why the executive coaching practice exists, because in leadership coaching or career coaching, right, people actually investing in themselves. We, for example, let's talk about preventative health as an analogy, right? We go to the doctor, we try to actually, hopefully, better ourselves, figure out what the right vitamins are for ourselves, figure out maybe if we have an imbalance in our body. We do this in a proactive way. Personal development is doing that for the mind, right? And mental health obviously has become a big focal point over the last year and a half, but that's how we have to think about it, right? We go through physical fitness. This is mental fitness. And that's what personal development really is. So again, if we tie this all back to companies investing in individuals, it's so important. We shouldn't just give out gym membership or gym stipends. We should actually give out stipends for individuals to go hire coaches or subsidize those coaches within the organization. A lot of companies have done that. But I think once we start doing that holistically, right, as every single company just normalizes that one of your employee perks is to actually get a coach. We want to invest in you because there's pure ROI on that. The more you invest in an individual, the more associated they are with the organization, the more grateful they are that you're not just coming in to grab a paycheck, right? I know the word slavery is very, very scary, and obviously we're all opposed to it, but I think we're not that far away from it. I'm not, if anybody wants to quote me, I understand that. But the truth is, if you're exchanging just money for work, and that's it, and that's how you view an employee, you're not that far away from that word, right? Because
I would use golden cage more than slavery.
there we go. Thank you. That's perfect. So you are caging an employee, but I think once you start to truly care about the human being, the ROI is incredible on it. They are happy as an individual. They know you value them. The energy changes. They start to show up at work with high energy, high output, high conversion. They get more done in less time. That's pure efficiency. That's better for the business. Then they become a happier human being. And it's all because of these subtle tweaks. And again, people think that spending a few $1,000s on a coach a month, a quarter, doesn't matter what that cadence is. They think that's too much. But if that few $1,000s converts to an extra couple of deals or higher output or more efficiency or better quality control, it is incredible what you can get from that employee. So it might feel different, right? If you're a manager or leader listening right now and you're thinking, this is completely against everything I've ever learned. This is just does not make sense. I don't see the ROI. That's fine. What I encourage you to do is to take the time and just do some research. It is unintelligent to just shoot something down and not believe that there is value in it. So I agree that it is hyper important as a leader to dedicate the resources, the finances towards actually funding this personal development and growth for an individual. It is the fastest way to get more out of your employees. It's the fastest way for retention of employees. And you're going to get much better employee kind of satisfaction scores as well, if that's something your company does.
Do you know about any researches done